The one thing that I want to ask of everybody tonight is to think different. So please, while you do set your minds to thinking differently, take a quick look at this video.
Here's to the crazy ones, the rebels, the troublemakers, the ones who see things differently. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
If there's something that Apple does incredibly well, is to think different, to go outside of the box and to challenge the status quo that every other competitor out there in the marketplace does. So with that said, I'm going to share a few pictures that very few people have seen, trust me. So I did tell you that I wanted to share a little bit of my story. What you see in this picture, I'm very, very happy that it looks so blurry. It's me in high school, and one of the extracurricular activities that I did do back then was acting. So this was the drama club. We put up a few plays, and this is the only surviving picture out of everything I did, which is kind of sad. But you see someone incredibly engaged, someone that did everything that he could to not only get the best grades that he could, but also to have as much fun as he could in school. That passion, that desire, that drive actually continued into college. And yes, it gets worse looking. In college, I joined a very informal, non-official drama club. And interestingly enough, the college I went to challenged us that if we were able to put up a play that did really, really well, the university would actually start a theater department. And we did this one. I'm not going to mention the name because it was a Spanish play. But it did very well, incredibly well, actually. And they did open up a theater department within a year and a half. And you see someone that was incredibly committed as well. Now, when we start talking about commitment, we need to start focusing on percentage of time in that I put into things back then. And my father grew steadily worried that I was dedicating too much time to acting and not a lot of time to studying. Mm-hmm. One day he had a very interesting conversation with me, and the rest is history. But that brought me to not only one degree, but two. I finished my bachelor's degree. Quite happy there. And then I went straight into a master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. Did I have the credentials? Did I acquire what normally most people think is a good measure of success? Yes. Did I prepare myself to hopefully be poised for a successful future?
Sure.
Pretty much so, right? At least the check boxes, or check the boxes, were looking towards that direction. Little did people know that behind the smiling face, behind the jovial personality, behind the Jaime that loved to help and do things for others, was someone that felt like this. Was someone who actually found himself plenty of times, especially during the master's degree, actually in that position in my studio apartment. Not dressed like that, of course, but definitely feeling so helpless, so hopeless, so trapped, so without direction, so lost, that it was incredibly overwhelming. The saddest part of it all is that back then, I thought it was just me. I thought no one else went through this kind of thing. Everybody seemed to be poised for whatever it was that they chose, medicine, law, even psychology. Everybody seemed to know what they wanted. Well, guess what? On the surface, so did I. So let me ask you this hypothetical question. Do you know someone that may be feeling like that? That may seem that they may not quite know or be completely certain of what they want to do. And I'm sorry, but studying medicine for the sake of doctors who make them a lot of money, it's not necessarily quite grasping the concept of doing something that you really want to do. So, do you know anyone that may feel like they're adrift? Like they lack direction? They're not sure where their north is? Someone that may feel a little down, a little depressed? Outside of maybe partying with friends and stuff, when you think about the true connection with what you want to do for the rest of your life, you feel a little overwhelmed? If that's the case, listen to what happened. About 5 years ago, it hit me as I'm an avid reader. I love to read. Interesting thing, I love to read the books that interest me. I hate to read anything else. So I was reading a lot about personal growth and development and all that kind of stuff. And these books started coming to me, and all these people like Joseph Campbell and Jim Rohn and all these huge personalities in the philosophical realm of both business as well as professional development. We're starting to talk about how we're not doing our best job in preparing people to do the best that they can do when they join the workforce. A lot of philosophy, a lot of words. 3%, 90%. These are numbers that are reported by Keith Shaw, but they're actually the result of a study that was sponsored by the Ford Foundation. Anyone wants to take a guess at what these numbers represent?
3% of people are able to do what they really want to do?
I'm sorry?
3% of people are able to do what they really want to do?
3% of people actually achieve the goals that they want to achieve. 3%. Do you feel that you belong to that statistic? If you don't, either you're very, very lucky and you've worked really, really hard, or you have shifted your goals as you have moved forward to something that is more achievable. 90% is the percent of people that have no ideas or plans about what they want to do in their lives. Outside of the fact that these are really sad statistics, I need to say that to me, it's an incredible eye-opener because for the first time, I realized that I wasn't alone in the world feeling the way I was feeling when I was back in college. A lot of people actually feel this way. Especially a lot of students don't know what they want to do. Why? Because our system does not prepare them to look into that direction. We have an amazing educational system, don't get me wrong, I would never say anything against it. But we do a lot of great things in building our knowledge base. We don't do so great in helping people discover who they are, what they're truly great at, and how to actually build a life around that so that they can be as happy as they can be and as successful as they can become. So, needless to say, when I think, or when I started thinking and reading all these materials, and started thinking about, well, where do we want to be? A lot of people talking about it, but not really. When I started doing the research, there wasn't really a lot of people doing much about it to help others discover what it was that they wanted to do, what it was that they were awesome at. Needless to say, we all want to be happy. Wouldn't you agree? Now, being happy is an unbelievable thing because what people don't understand is that the way we feel creates a ripple effect. And it affects everything that surrounds us. So if we're happy, guess what? We're happier with our spouses. We're happier with our kids. We are happier with our neighbors. We're happier driving down the road. We're happier with the people that we don't even know. But the opposite is true as well.